Greetings from CUPS the Preschool. I am Deepak Agarwal, CEO of Srimati Pushpa Devi Devkaran Agarwal Foundation and founder of CUPS the Preschools. I would like to begin this video with a very important and simple question. And this question is mainly for those children parents who did not make their children attend any kind of schooling last year. And this question is, can you afford to lose one more year of schooling of your child? And this question is important as well as serious for a reason. The reason which we have already discussed before. And the reason is about your brain development. When we talk about brain development in the age group of 2 to 6 years, it is at the fastest rate. In fact, as per medical research, a brain is developing at its fastest rate in the age group of 2 to 6 years, and it is already 90% developed by the time your child reaches age of 6. So what does that mean? Losing out 2 important and formative years of your child when the brain is developing, especially as far as the education is concerned, it is going to have a negative impact on their foundation. And it has been already known by many parents, and in fact already been discussed, that whatever we teach in the age group of 2 to 6, it stays with them for the rest of their lives, and it acts as a foundation. So imagine when this foundation is being compromised just by losing out 2 years of important schooling years. So coming back to this question, is it really affordable? The answer is definitely not affordable. And before we discuss more about this question, let me tell you that this year as well, we have no hopes of schools coming back to their offline mode. When it comes to offline teaching, it is already the second year in a row that we are witnessing the second wave of COVID-19. And in fact, this second wave is progressing at such a ferocious level that it has become even more difficult to think about regular schooling. So when we are finding difficulties in reopening of schools, every school, especially in our country, is now relying on their digital platforms in order to deliver education. So when it comes to digital platform, it is not only us, it is every school who is going to teach your child online. Now, talking about how important it is to enroll your child for this online or say homeschooling in this year. So I remember out of my conversation with most of my parents from last year, I came across many common concerns saying that, sir, it is okay to lose out on 1 year because my child doesn't know how to sit in front of the phone camera or laptop screen. It is okay if we don't send him because it's just the start of their schooling. My child's eyes will be strained if he sits too long in front of the cameras. And how is it possible to learn something from laptop or screen when they take their own sweet time to learn even in school? So some of these concerns were commonly discussed by parents with me, and I would like to share some insights and highlights from what we did last year to reach some good learning outcomes. So coming back to the first concern, how possible for my child to cooperate with the online education or say homeschooling? The answer is, it will take time. If you remember the beginning days of your child coming to school, it was equally difficult for you to come and drop your child to school. There was hardly any day, like the first 7 days, 8 days, 10 days, depending on your child, that he came without crying to school. He took its own course of time in order to settle down and start following your teacher's instructions. And the same scenario is also applicable for homeschooling. So when they start attending classes online with the teacher, they will take their own course of time in order to settle down and start following teacher's instructions. But you have to be patient for that. You have to be patient enough for that in order to see your child settle eventually. Coming to the second concern of our parents, that sitting for long duration of time in front of phone cameras and laptop screens would eventually strain our children's eyes. Valid concern, I must say, but because of this concern, what we did was we reduced the duration of our homeschooling classes. It was less than an hour. In fact, if you look at the attention span of these children, it is not more than 15 to 20 minutes. So to take care of that, we wanted to do the most in those 15 to 20 minutes whenever we called your child in order to interact. So what our teachers did, they interacted for a very less duration, which not only took care of their eyes but also took care of their interest, so that they could participate with enthusiasm and disconnect the call after that. Coming to the third concern, how much my child will be able to learn out of this homeschooling, because this has never been done before. Is it really practical to enroll my child for online schooling or homeschooling? The answer is yes, practical, especially when you are comparing with those children who did not attend any kind of schooling last year. At least compared to those children, these children will be in much more advantageous position. I'll tell you how. What we did last year, apart from conducting regular interactive sessions with teachers by short-term duration calls, we also conducted online tests on weekends. This was to basically test your child's ability to grasp whatever we were teaching, and also to check how good our teacher was teaching. So we conducted weekend tests, oral tests, in just to ensure how much your child was learning, how much he was grasping, so that the teacher could plan for the next week. We gave away homeworks, and that too in offline mode, especially to ensure that we kept that traditional touch of schooling intact. It not only ensured that the homework went on regular basis, it also ensured that your child did that homework with seriousness. Because once your child knows that this homework or say this notebook has come from school, he is equally serious as much as he is interested in doing that homework. So that homework played a very big role, and it also ensured that whatever we were teaching, it was in a written format. So it was on records for even parents also, so that they can refer it anytime as per their convenience. And in order to reinforce whatever we were teaching, it should be effective for the child, we conducted a lot of competitions. In fact, on weekly basis, we conducted quizzes. So not just the major competitions like fancy dress competitions or Republic Day competitions, we even focused on these quiz competitions for all the classes starting with nursery to UKG. So what we used to do, we used to invite children of that particular class to participate in these competitions and ask them those questions which we normally gave in homework. So it ensured there was a proper revision of what we were teaching. Parents followed the pattern of homework, pattern of curriculum, and it ensured that children were in touch, proper touch with what we were teaching. And it also kept the competitive spirits alive, which was otherwise missing because of this offline schooling not happening since last 2 years. So being in competitive spirits, being in seriousness level, ensure that children learned effectively. And most importantly, as you know, at CUPS we do a lot of Montessori teaching since we are a Montessori preschool. So to deliver the same methods which we taught through practical activities using Montessori activities, we gave away Practivity boxes. Now these Practivity boxes contained numerous Montessori materials which ensured that the conceptual learning was not compromised. And this conceptual learning was basically with regards to maths, cognitive and English subjects. So with these Practivity boxes, we achieved practical level of teaching which not only increased the value of learning of your child, but it also added lot of enthusiasm in your child, which means they did it with interest. We uploaded videos of these Practivity boxes activity by activity on our school Android app. We gave away weekly notices with regards to homework, that what needs to be done in that particular week, and that ensured that we were able to achieve a good learning outcome as far as the academic year was concerned, and that too without any kind of offline schooling. Our parents were very happy when they got to know the learning outcome was so good that they even appreciated the way we conducted this homeschooling with that traditional touch, by giving offline homework, by conducting regular competitions, and that played a very important role. Parents of those children who completed UKG also called us to inform that their child got into so and so school after clearing their entrance test or entrance interview, and they thanked to the homeschooling and their decision of enrolling their children to homeschooling. So definitely the insights and the highlights I just shared with you are actually from the practical things that we did last year. And it is not just out of the blue I am talking here. It is all already practiced. And this is the second year in a row we are more prepared, much better prepared in order to implement homeschooling now. So don't get carried away emotionally by just thinking that how it is possible to make your child learn out of this homeschooling which is being conducted online. Take your decisions with proper consultation from people who are knowledgeable about this. Talk to those parents who had enrolled their children in homeschooling last year, so that it will help you to make informed decisions instead of just getting carried away with just some well thought theory, or hearsay from some people talking about that it is not good to enroll your child for homeschooling. So make well informed decisions. If you have any apprehensions, dilemmas, doubts, do feel free to reach out to us, because waiting for government to announce anything with regards to school is very uncertain, because government has already so much on its plate that they are going to take their own course of time as far as the education sector is concerned. Talking about vaccine, as I already spoke in the beginning of the video, the vaccine is already on its way. Phase 2 and 3 trials have already begun by Bharat Biotech, which developed Covaxin. So the kids COVID-19 vaccine will be out anytime, maybe in 1 year or 2 years time frame. But is it really practical to wait till the vaccine comes out, since you have already lost 1 year last year and the second year is in progress? So we have already begun admissions for this year. The classes will begin anytime in the month of June, and for that the admission process have already begun. As I said, if you have any dilemmas, do feel free to reach out to me on my school number, or even Miss Yogita. We will be always there to help you out with all your questions and dilemmas that you have. So it was not just my duty, it was my responsibility also to share some insights out of this homeschooling what we did since last year. And to tell you very frankly, we are much more better prepared now to implement homeschooling, because we have matured with this over a period of 2 years. And with this, I would like to thank you for your patient listening. Request you to take care of yourself, of your family, and most importantly of our children. And as a well-wisher, I am always there to help you out with any kinds of questions or dilemmas that you may have with regards to your child. Feel free to reach out to us on our school numbers. Thank you for your patient listening. Goodbye.